Hey guys, I want to do a quick video on copying. So Richard Branson, I've been studying him. He said in his book, The Virgin Way, that you can copy me to a T, which is actually what a airline business actually did. They copied everything from all the innovative stuff that he did with his airlines, from the cheese trays to the massage chairs to the extra employees, all those things. He said he doesn't really care that you copy him because, that's kind of the nature of the game. And precisely, he didn't really actually even feel flustered at all. The way that he reacted was just, interesting. And I think that's so contrary to how most amateurs react to copying. They're outraged and they think it's such an issue. And I think it's because a lot of these people who are just starting out in business, they overvalue the idea. They overvalue the fact that I have this incredible idea, I have to guard it. Because generally speaking, 50 people will already have came up with it and another 1,000 have probably done it or they're doing it now. And I mean, even if you become a success, you're stupid to think that in the next 50 years, no one's going to copy you, especially if it's legal. As long as it's legal, they can copy. So there's only a few industries where it's not legal to copy, like the book industry, the music industry. But what about something like business? I mean, people are allowed to open up a pizza store just like yours. Just because you made a specific type of pizza and put a few toppings on it, you can't get mad that someone else is doing it because of your unique idea. And so, long story short, I think the best thing you can do is seek to legally protect your idea if you can, and that's probably just through a patent. And don't go overboard with it, because a lot of people, they overemphasize the idea. There's so much more to success than just the idea. I mean, thousands of people complain that, oh, I had the idea for Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. I had that idea of turning that into a movie. Quite frankly, I have that idea too. And in fact, I know a lot of fiction books that have yet to be turned into a movie that I would love to, and I think would be a huge hit, such as the Bartimaeus trilogy. And here's the thing, there's so much more to it than just the idea. So stop with the non-disclosure agreements and contracts and privacy agreements, because the idea is something that's, it's not as huge as you think. And sure, there's certain levels of coolness to protecting an idea if you can legally. But at the same time, there's so much more to it than that. And Richard Branson understands this. And here's just to sum it up in conclusion. For Richard Branson and many, many others, he remarked in his book that, okay, you can copy me, but you don't know the inner workings of what else I'm doing that's not apparent just from you trying to copy me. And he references all those special things that he briefs his employees to do to make the customer service experience better than possible. And so there's oftentimes a lot more going behind the scenes than what you can do by just, pretending to be your competitor's customer to try and learn as much as you can from them on what their airline business or whatever they do actually functions. I mean, you can go into your competitor's stores and copy, and sometimes it's good to do that, but it goes beyond that. I think there's more to it than that. For instance, there's copywriting skills. You can try and copy someone's copy, sales copy, but if you don't understand the higher levels of why that copy works, the deep psychological reasons, and why certain words work like they do, guess what? You'll never be able to write good copy yourself, or really sell that product or understand the mind of a customer. You'll never really know that, oh, that person isn't just buying a horse riding class. He's buying an experience. He's buying an escape from his work. And if you don't understand that deeper level of psychology about why people do things, just as an example, how are you supposed to succeed? So that's just one example. Again, there's plenty of others. And if you look to Sam Walton, which I believe he's one of the best business people to ever exist, he did a bunch of copying, and he has a quote, and he says, all my best ideas, they were copied from someone else. Now, was this ethically wrong? No, because it was legal to do so. And I think that the person who is so paranoid of copying others, I admire your ethics, and I definitely think you should always be as ethically good as you can. But I mean, to go to an extreme of saying, oh my goodness, I cannot copy the color of that door, I can't copy the width of that aisle, and you end up skipping the fundamentals. I mean, certain foundational elements of why business work because they've been tested for decades, if not centuries. And to try everything absolutely new, like, oh, we can't sell food because everyone else sells food, therefore we have to sell mush, or something ridiculous like that. Like, okay, I can't be nice to my employees because everyone else is nice to them. It's like, come on. There's certain levels of copying that are there. And I go to the story of Agora Publishing just to give you an example of this. Agora Publishing, one of the chairs gave a speech, and there's this entrepreneur, his name's Russell Brunson. He went to the speech and he told this story. The founder said, you know, for decades, people have been trying to beat us. Some of them would undercut us in pricing. Others would charge premium pricing. They would do all sorts of stuff. And all these new upstarts would try and beat us. But let's just be frank. We're Agora Publishing. We have tens of millions of dollars and we've tested everything. The only way to beat us is to copy our pricing exactly. We've tested all the stuff. You guys don't even have the budget to test. We've spent millions of dollars testing different pricing. So for certain industries and companies, not all of them, I think it's critical to properly price your products and copy. Not to the extent of being unethical, but it's important to at least respect and admire what's going on. Sam Walton, you know, he went into a store and it was horrendous in every way. And so his peers, his co-workers who went in there, they're just complaining about how horrible this store was. But Sam, he would always look for the good. And he'd find out one good thing and he'd say, you know what? That aisle, they put plushies in the second corner. No one does that. You know, I think if we do that, we can make more money. So he was always trying to find that little golden nugget rather than his executives who were just like complaining. And by doing that, he took all the best parts of other businesses. And it was, you know, generally speaking, all good. And I mean, Sam, he didn't just copy. He also was on the forefront of innovation. He started getting the satellite technology, whereas everyone else, they didn't. And he ended up being 10 years ahead of his competition because he got into that. So there's a certain level of staying on the forefront, innovating, as well as just respecting and learning from your competition. And of course, take this with a grain of salt because there's contrary information out there as well. I would say for a lot of personality-based industries, this advice doesn't hold hard and true because you want to stand out if you're a personality and you don't want to be the same as everyone else.